All right, we have our first draft trade that just went down a few hours ago. Woj reports that the Grizzlies and the Pelicans have made a trade. Let's look at it. What's good for both teams? Who won the trade? It's the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys, maybe this is the first domino to fall. There might be more things happening, but let's look at these. Let's look at this trade and what went down. Woj is reporting that Memphis is finalizing a trade to send Jonas Valanciunas and the 2021 number 17 and 51 pick to New Orleans for Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, the number 10 pick in the 2021 draft, and the number 40 pick, as well as a 2022 protected first-round pick from the Lakers, which, according to Andrew Lopez, at who knows where, but Woj retweeted him, that pick is top 10 protected. So let's look at this and let's see what it does for both sides. I think it's actually one of the reason why this trade happens and why it's interesting is because I actually think both sides did pretty well. Although me personally, I really like what it does for Memphis. First, let's look at the Pelicans. So the Pelicans, let's see, the Pelicans send Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, and their number 10 pick and their number 40 pick to Memphis for Jonas Valanciunas and the number 17 and 51. So they get two worse picks, actually. So basically, Memphis is leapfrogging the Pelicans in both their first round pick and their second round pick because they improved to the 10 pick and the 40. So 51 to 40 in this draft is actually really nice if you're the Grizzlies and you're looking to get some nice prospects because this is a deep draft and there are some players in that early second round that are going to be nice, really nice prospects that could develop into really good players. What the Pelicans are trying to do, and according to Woj, part of what they're doing is creating cap space for August that allows them to either match an offer sheet for Lonzo Ball or have the cap space to pursue a significant free agent point guard, including Kyle Lowry and others. Perhaps they're looking at someone like Mike Conley as well. The Pelicans are basically clearing cap space. And in this draft, I mean, the number 10 pick is obviously better than 17, but this is one of the more loaded drafts I've seen in a while. I mean, picks in like the mid-20s are going to be really nice in this draft. So getting number 17, yes, it's a drop down, and there are going to be some players picked at 10 that are in that range that are much better than the 17. But the Pelicans are still going to get a nice player out of this draft at number 17. And if they can add to that pick a nice point guard, whether it's Lonzo Ball, who we saw take a leap last year with his three-point shooting, he just became a more consistent player overall. And we know that Lonzo Ball, when he's locked in, is a nice defender. If they can also either sign Lonzo Ball or bring someone over like Kyle Lowry, that's a nice addition to this Pelicans team. Mentioning Kyle Lowry is interesting to me because that instantly makes kind of a sign and trade possibility there with Lonzo Ball. Let's say the Pelicans want to get Kyle Lowry and Kyle Lowry, is interested in just getting a big contract. And then the way he can do that is go to the Pelicans. That might be interesting. Maybe the Pelicans can, to lure over Kyle Lowry and to make Toronto, make it worth their while. They can send their number 17 pick to them with Lonzo Ball to bring over Kyle Lowry. My guess the thing about these sign and trades is that someone like Kyle Lowry can do whatever he wants. So he could, if he wanted to go to the Pelicans, he could sign outright that's definitely something he could do. Although I don't know if New Orleans is one of those kind of marquee locations that, it's not the Miamis, the LAs, destinations like that where players are trying to get to. So a sign and trade might be possible, and Kyle Lowry might be willing to do a solid for the Toronto Raptors and say, hey, thanks for all the great years I've had here. Let me do you a solid. I'm going to get a contract, and let's see if I can help you get something. You get like a solid player in Lonzo Ball, and maybe the Pelicans send them something else. Maybe they just send that second round pick, but that way those contracts can happen, and Lonzo Ball gets his contract, Kyle Lowry gets his contract, and something like that might be possible. I don't know. We'll see. All right, now let's look at this from Memphis' point of view. I really like this for Memphis. Memphis gets the number 10 pick and the number 40 pick in this draft. Like I said, the number 40 pick in this draft is going to be pretty solid because this second round is going to have nice players. It's a loaded draft in terms of just like deep talent. There are a lot of talented players in that second round that just need time to develop. And so getting 40 is nice, but obviously getting the number 10 pick is really great too. We've had some other things come out that's kind of adding to this trade. Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer said that the Grizzlies are interested in moving up again after acquiring the 10th pick from the Pelicans. Jonathan Kuminga or James Bouknight are potential targets for Memphis with another trade up. That's really interesting to me because obviously that's two guys they really want. And to me, a GM is letting this information get out to Kevin O'Connor because he wants to find out the asking price. Maybe that GM doesn't have as good of connections with some of these top 10 teams. One of these things that's interesting is some of these teams might just not have connections with other GMs. Like maybe they can't talk very, who knows? There's just situations where teams put out a leak like this saying, hey, we'd like to move up again. What happens is Kevin O'Connor puts this tweet out, and guess what? Every team in the top 10 is going to see this. And they're probably going to start talking, and the Memphis Grizzlies are going to find out what that cost will be. The team I'm interested in looking at for the Grizzlies would be the Golden State Warriors. We have seen so many rumors, and we've talked about this just my last video. The Golden State Warriors are interested in winning now and not wasting Steph's prime, and so they are going to look to possibly move that number 7 pick for an upgrade. What's even more interesting about this is that Eric Bledsoe, who New Orleans included in a trade package, is not expected to stay in Memphis. League sources tell Yahoo Sports. That's Chris Haynes. So maybe the Warriors are saying, hey, we could use another guard. A backup point guard in Eric Bledsoe would be fantastic. Eric Bledsoe might be willing to accept a backup guard role to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, knowing that he might have a chance to win the finals and maybe work towards another contract. Maybe he can rehabilitate a little bit of his image. He obviously probably thinks of himself as a starting point guard, but I think most teams right now and most fans probably don't look at Eric Bledsoe. If he's your starting guard, you're not probably super excited about that unless you're a team that has superstars around him, like a Steph Curry, or maybe the Lakers are interested in looking at getting Eric Bledsoe. If they strike out on a lot of other guys, maybe Memphis can get like the 22 pick for Eric Bledsoe with the Lakers or something like that, and a sign and trade, with Dennis Schroeder or something like that. But the team I think is interesting because we know that Memphis wants to move up is the Grizzlies at number 7. That makes a lot of sense to me. You can send a nice, role player in Eric Bledsoe to the Grizzlies who can kind of shore up their roster. If you have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson starting, and then Eric Bledsoe is your backup guard that plays 10 to 15 minutes, that's really nice. If you have Eric Bledsoe playing against second units, that's great. We've seen in the playoffs, if you have Eric Bledsoe against starting units in the playoffs, it doesn't go so well. But as a backup guard, that's pretty solid. That's pretty darn solid. And we know that he can do some nice things. He can defend and all sorts of things. So as a backup guard, Eric Bledsoe's nice. And then also for the Grizzlies, also for the Warriors, going from 7 to 10, and you get like a proven role player in Bledsoe in a trade like that, that makes a lot of sense to me, because at number 10, you still might be able to get nice players that can fit in with what you're doing to win now. So if you want to go get Franz Wagner and get just a proven shooter, or a Corey Kispert or someone like that, Kispert is an older prospect that can come in and right away contribute. And we know that he's a proven shooter. And so there's some interesting things going on in this draft. And yet you've got another year under Wiseman's belt. Maybe Wiseman's ready to go as your starting center, and things, it's an interesting idea. And I think actually that 7 pick and that Golden State Warriors team is the team to watch for this trade, because I think that's something very possible. Guys, that's all I got to say. If you're new here, make sure and like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Did you like the trade? Did you hate it? It's getting closer to the draft. We're going to do draft reviews. I want to kind of dissect every pick from every team, because I think this is going to be a loaded draft. And I think a lot of teams are actually going to be really happy with this draft. It's going to be fun to watch. Guys, like I said, like and subscribe, hit the bell if you haven't already. I will talk to you next time.